Okay, VC, hello, peace. This is my introduction. It's been a long time coming. I been a long time lurker, hanging out, watching videos, and basically posting in Facebook and all that jazz. But I started. Well, let me do a little bit of an introduction first about me. My name's Alex. Posting under the pseudonym polychloroethene. Long story. Ask me sometime. Whatever. At least it's vinyl related. I started listening to music, or remember having vinyl when I was around 9. I had 3 45s. I had Supertramp, Dreamer, Stevie Wonder Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and a golden record of Let the Sunshine In. And I played those things to death. And around the same time I had a babysitter named Kim who would come over and bring her Bay City Rollers record because she was a huge fan. So I ended up listening to those a lot, and so that actually ended up being when I was 9, 10, bought my first record. That would have been Rock and Roll Love Letter. So yeah, that was it, my first record. Everybody knows it. So then a number of years went by, I guess. By the time I was around 12 or 13, I started actually really getting into my own music. And I went to the record store and bought 3 records. I remember these first major purchases. 3 records at the same time. Speak and Spell. A Broken Frame. Depeche Mode. Awesome classic. Along with AC/DC, Back in Black. Hey, another classic, maybe a little different. And last but not least, Devo. Oh no, it's Devo. Great 3 records, and really started expanding from there. The Morning Derek, cheers. Gotta have your coffee. So then started listening to a lot more music. You know, I was lucky I had my dad as an influence. He had a bunch of records in his collection, things like Tamita and ELO and David Bowie. I remember Donna Summer, Left a Lovely Baby. All that stuff sort of, you know, opened my eyes to a lot of different kinds of stuff. And I think, as you can tell, there's the starting of a pretty heavily electronic slash synthesized based music. I sure love it. Let's see. Then my second and third record buys that I remember were pretty cool because they were just totally spec. I had no idea what I was getting into. Danny Elfman's solo. I didn't even know at the time, I don't think, that he was the lead singer of Oingo Boingo. I had known about Oingo Boingo, but didn't really follow them much. Great album. And another, just like, what the hell is this? Psyche, Insomnia Theater. If you don't know Psyche, early electronic, industrial, Canadian, along the vein of Skinny Puppy and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was the real beginning, age 13. I also went to my first concert, Thompson Twins and OMD. I remember OMD opened for them and they absolutely rocked the place, and Thompson Twins was not so good. As much as I liked them, they just didn't put on a good show. So what else? From those years I kept most of my records. These are the original records that I bought at the time. And I ended up getting, you know, through my teens around 200 records, and pretty much just kept them and didn't really do much with them. Bought a few CDs through the years, and wasn't really a major vinyl junkie other than, you know, having what I had. Then, I guess around 10 or so years ago, I really got the bug. As some of you well aware and can relate. And just started accumulating like crazy, but really reliving my childhood or my teens, getting back into new wave electronica. So the majority of my collection is that sort of 80s synth-based pop or techno, from Kraftwerk to OMD, New Order, Severed Heads, Lizard Pink Dots, Bjork, Boingo, Depeche Mode, Deadmau5, Kraftwerk, like, you know, all the stuff. So let's see. What am I missing? history of the YouTube vinyl community. Man, what a godsend. I still have no real local friends that know or are really interested in vinyl at all. They look at my collection and go, well, good for you, man, but whatever. So I don't really have anyone to relate to other than you guys, which is cool. So 4 years ago, I guess, when I first started running across these videos, I remember Rob Iolovax and Derek Higgins for sure, and some others. I'm sorry if I forget your names, but that really got me into it. I was like, holy crap, there's other people out there that are avid vinyl collectors that, you know, just decent, and the diversity of the kind of stuff they collect is really, really interesting. So I was just eating it up and watching, but like I said, long time lurker, and first time finally posting a video myself. I feel like it's only fair. So here we go, or here we are. What else? That's about it for the history side of things. I have an unfair advantage, I think, when it comes to collecting records. My father is an avid garage sailor and thrift shop type person, and goes out daily and is retired and accumulates and just brings me good stuff all the time. Over the years has really gotten into my collection as well, knows what I like, and I'm just really lucky that way. So every week I seem to get an influx of records that add to the collection in the right way, or if not, then I end up trading them for things that do, and it's really, really great. Thanks, Dad. You rock. And yeah, I already talked about a little bit about the types of music, but what I actually collect, really all that synth-based industrial electronica, new wave experimental stuff. I also collect kids records. I know there's some of you out there that are into that, and the oddball spoken word stuff. I have a good chunk of that. And just soundtracks and compilations in general. Anything that's kind of interesting. I have a couple thousand, I think, maybe 45s. Again, I always said I don't really collect them, but I guess now that I have that many, I suspect I do. I tried to avoid them, but I ran across a huge influx of mint condition 80s synth pop type new wave stuff, so couldn't pass it up, and now I've got the 45 bug too. It's just terrible, but good, a good terrible. Two more things I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna whip through a bunch of records because it's kind of interesting, and that's what you guys like looking at. These are things that aren't on Discogs that are in my collection. I just pulled, I don't know, a stack of 50 to 100, I don't know, and I'm just going to whip through them, just sort of go, hey, and this is kind of wild, and if you want more information, let me know. I'm not going to talk really extensively about them. I'm just going to crank. And then after that, I'm going to do a little quiz and give some stuff away, but I'm going to talk about that in a sec too. So this is really bizarre. Bootleg Powerhead. John Lyle and the Lonesome Ornery Polecats. Comes with this hand-created book, you know, tacked together with all of the lyrics handwritten. I don't think there was an awful lot of these made. I've seen very little online about John Lyle. I think he's Canadian. I could be wrong about that. It's, again, handwritten labels. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. Pretty interesting stuff, just rare. I guess you don't run across it very often. And then another one that I think is really, really cool and really rare, or relatively rare, is this guy named Ragtime Ralph. He's, I think, from New West or Vancouver area here in British Columbia, by the way. That's where I am. West Coast Vancouver area, Canada. And Ragtime Ralph, otherwise known as Blind Brand X. You can look him up online. He is a phenomenal guitar player, in my opinion, and really just underknown. I don't know how you would say it. This, again, more hand-created, sort of single runoff albums. Really good stuff. This is two different records, or the same one with different. I can't remember. I've got two of them here for sure. Oh, wait, this is yeah, totally. This is the one, and they're all signed. I've just come across them over the years in different places, and I guess because he's from here, relatively easy to come across. Really good guitar stuff. I'll probably play a bit in the background so you can hear it. I've also got a couple 45s. Yeah, what else can I say? They're pretty cool. Ba-da-boom. And last but not least, even more obscure one, Ralph and the Garage Surfer, Surfing and Pickin'. This is a relatively limited, I think, gold yellow 45. And yeah, pretty neat. So, big fan of that. I think if you also search Delta Slider, I think that's the name of the guy that runs the website, or his alias. He's also a big fan of this guy. And if you look him up, I think you can download almost all of Ragtime stuff, or Blind Brand X's stuff, for free. So now we're going to whip through some other stuff. This is weird. A bunch of Disney records. I collect Disney kid stuff. This is, what the hell? Walt Disney Great Operas, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I have a lot of Disney kids records, but I've never seen them just do opera. Bizarre. Disney, Treasure Island, don't see it around very often. Bullwhip Griffin, another Disney record. Grasshopper and the Ants. America Sings. Sorry if I'm holding them at an angle, I don't want the reflection and glare at the screen. The Legend of Lobo. Come on, that's cool. And Old Yeller. Don't cry. Not Disney. Fraggle Rock. How can you go wrong with Fraggle Rock? Perfect harmony. Love it. And I don't know, Hugga Bunch. I vaguely remember that as a kid. It was a TV thing. Muppet music. Jim Henson's Silly Songs. Very cool. It's got the Muppet Show theme and the closing theme, of course, and a bunch of weird stuff. Anyway. Canadian, I think. Mr. Dressup. Pretty cool. I love this stuff. Nancy and Sluggo. I don't know if you remember that as a kid, but learning the way you hoped it would be. I've got a bunch of Raggedy Ann and Andy stuff. These are on the Kid Stuff label. Same one that does like Strawberry Shortcake and all that kind of stuff. Raggedy Ann. Raggedy Ann and Andy. Another kid stuff. Princess and the Pea. I know. Whatever. Some of you will love this, some of you will hate this. Deputy Dawg. Pretty cool. Oh, shout outs to Shannon Sideblock. He also collects a lot of this kind of stuff. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of it. Romper Room. Another Canadian thing. Shannon, you might remember that. Woody Woodpecker. Beautiful. Beautiful. With the full cartoon and the intersleeves. Gatefold type thing. And then to Sesame Street. Bob Sings. Sing along with Bob. Sesame Street. Can't go wrong. Like I said, sorry, I'm just going to whip through these because I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them. Don't have a lot of time. Just a Sesame Street record, another Sesame Street record. I'm only showing these again because they're not listed on Discogs, so therefore you might not have seen them all that often. Away from the kid stuff, I know other people talking on the Facebook pages saying that not a lot of K-Tel or comp stuff being posted, so I thought I'd post a few weird ones, or more obscure-ish ones, or at least the type that I like. 1983 Asylum, Kelly's, Canadian place. U2, Echo and the Bunnyman, NXS, Roxy Music, Planet P, Yaz, Berlin, Rick Ocasek, Man Without Hats, Prince. Pretty good little sampler. Here's another one. You can see who's on it pretty much just by reading that. Again, another one. This is pretty good. That's, who was that? I don't even know who pressed that. Oh, maybe it was like Sam the Record Man. Something weird. And then weird compilations like this. Schweppes, again, another Canadian thing. I think Schweppes is Canadian company. They do like tonic water and stuff like that. So mixing music, so songs to go with your drinks. The Desert Patrol in the North African Campaign of World War II. Exciting, true action educational records for young people. Pretty cool. The Day Manolete Was Killed. Yeah. I haven't given that one a listen yet, actually, so I'm not too sure about it. Good spoken word. 800 pounds of West Country rock. This is the Saskatchewan Rough Riders compilation. Because everybody's got to put out an album. How about this? Bingo. Basically, you shuffle the playing cards. It comes with the bingo cards. Oh. And you basically just put random tracks on and play. I don't think this is a multi-groove like some of the other things. No, just different bands. Yeah. So you just basically randomly select tracks. Hopefully you don't know them too well. At least that's the way it looks. This is an obscure one, a band called Unit E. The only reason I'm showing this is because I want people to know that I'm a huge fan of and collect Stephen R. Gilmore artwork. Not so much the artwork, but the record covers. He's known for doing a lot of covers under the Network label in Vancouver here. Severed Head, Skinny Puppy, Moev, all of that kind of stuff. And this you just don't see this very often. So keep in mind, any interesting Stephen R. Gilmore, if you know who he is, I would love to know more about it, or love to talk about it. I'm just trying to get all of these. My daughter, she's into dance, and this is Al Gilbert's graded tap dancing. This is not overly exciting in any way, but if you ever see any of these Al Gilbert ones, again, I would love it. VCLT, wink wink, I'm just kidding. That kind of stuff I would just love to get my hands on. You don't see it very often. And I'm not just going to go and buy it online somewhere. Shout out to Shannon again, medical and social aspects of venereal disease. How can you go wrong with listening to doctors talk about medical aspects of VD? Rock and roll. 7 days to better golf. Improve your golf swing. Is there anything you can't do with vinyl? Great Adventures of Beretta. Come on. Rock and roll. Just weird stuff. Reading comprehension. Just an interesting Folkways record. Maybe there's some of you guys that collect Folkways. If you do, I got a bunch. I just love this cover. It's just sort of sweet and elegant. Just a bunch of kids' songs like Lullabies Over the Rainbow, Sleepy Eye Lullaby, that kind of stuff. Just sweet. Zodiac Music, Dorothy Abiyakun, and Mantara Sounds for each zodiacal signs. I think her father is this Cyrus Abiyakun, big into astrology and I don't know. Look it up. It's obscure. Weird radio, superheroes at war, thrilling radio adventures, battles against nasty persons. Yeah. I actually haven't really given it a good listen, but that cover's pretty over the top. Beautiful Don Martin artwork. There's 2 or 3 or 4 of these records put out. They did come with an 8x10 original reproduction on heavy paper of the artwork of Don Martin, but I don't have any of them. I've got a few of the records though, just I wanted to show you. There's another compilation, weird one, but based on Green Giant, Being Her, I think. Yeah, Being Her, the Giant's Back. Just a compilation, but sponsored by Green Giant. Ho, ho, ho. Hanna-Barbera. Sound Effects. Volume 3? Yeah. It's the only volume I got. Would love to have more. I collect sound effect records. Obviously. Tarzan. From the television show. NBC TV. How awesome is that? Awesome in my world. Morse code. How to deal with instruction course. 10 lessons, up to 15 words per minute. Yes, I'm pretty sure that had the instruction book in it. Wow, synth. I've got a bunch of these. Not these in particular, but a bunch of singles and promos and stuff. I just thought I'd show this one because it's a little more obscure. Strange Advance. It's got Worlds Away, and on the other side, One Chance in a Million. I just doubt you can sort of read that, but maybe you can. Lots of singles. Wonderland Records. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Again, more sort of kid slash fun stuff. And then there's these kind of weird oddball things that I pick up. I just can't help it. McDonald's, the McDonald's Managers Convention in 1983. Toronto and You. I don't know if it was done in Toronto, but here's a listing of the tracks on the back. You can pause it if you want. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Love this cover. Just love the logo. But that's a great test record. It's got different RMS frequencies. But it's a beautiful cover. And then these are awesome. Like, I haven't said awesome enough, but these are kids' records that are also jigsaw puzzles. I don't know if you can see that very well. But the record, if you take it apart, you can color it and do the jigsaw puzzle. Bozo the Clown record puzzle. I also have a Sleeping Beauty record puzzle, but some child has colored it, but it hasn't been taken apart. Just kind of neat stuff. Oh, here's a shout out for Rob, Yellowvox, if you're interested. If you don't have it, A Night with Robert Burns. Mostly, there's a couple songs, but mostly poems and commentary. And we're getting down to the last 1 or 2 or 3. Orca Whales. Okay, can't go wrong with Orca Whales, especially in this area, Pacific Northwest. Here's another compilation. I wish I had more of these, the Virgin musical verses ones. Again, great, how do I do this? Great compilation. Oh, up. All this mirror image stuff is hard to see. Again, just another cool cover. Don't see it very often. Very Batman-esque of the 60s or whatever that was. And last but not least, just a local thing. We used to have in White Rock, where I was raised. White Rock is a small little city, but has a huge beach. And we used to have sandcastle competitions down there all the time, and the place would get packed. So I'm not sure if you've ever seen a beach with that many people on it. But that was a picture from that era. This is just a local country artist. But I don't see this record very often, but I just kept it because of the picture in the front. They canceled the competition because it just got out of hand. It was a big party and way too much drunks and all that jazz. So that's sort of it from my not on Discog's selection. I've got probably another 3 or 4 cubes full of that kind of oddball-y stuff, and many, many more, but is online. Everything I have is on Discogs. I love the interface. I know it takes a lot for some people to get into and to catch up, but I've spent years on it, and I've got more than 10,000 indexed and graded accurately. And it's the only way I can maintain this kind of a collection, because when you're out, you're just going to end up buying dupes and buying dupes. It's like, oh, do I have that, or is it better, or I don't know. And so I couldn't live without it, especially online now, where internet is everywhere you go. So lastly, I'm going to do a fun quiz. This quiz is like the old radio shows where they used to play like snippets of a bunch of songs together in tiny little bits, and you'd have to guess what song and artist it was. So I've got 10 together, 10 songs, 10 different artists, and please do not post your guesses publicly in YouTube or on Facebook. Just post them to me directly. I'll be honest. Whoever gets it first gets all 10 artists and song names. We'll talk about what you're into, and I'll send something your way. It'll be something good. I'll find it. I'm not going to say that I'm going to give this, because then some people are going to be like, meh, I don't want that, whatever. So yeah, we'll make it fun. Don't take the fun of it for others, though. Don't post in the groups, and have a listen, and thanks for watching. Hope to maybe do this more often. Cheers.